What's been making fat loss difficult for you? Please take a moment to share it down in the comment section below so we can get a good discussion going here, and hopefully I can provide you with some guidance to help you overcome those difficulties, whether it's right down there in the comment section or in upcoming videos. And if you're someone who's already been successful with fat loss, please take a moment to share in the comment section below the difficulties that you did face along the way to achieving your fat loss success and what you did to overcome those difficulties. We're all learning and growing together. This is a shared experience. And a lot of us face a lot of similar challenges, and it really helps us to feel like we're not alone. We're not the only people who are facing these difficulties and challenges along the way. And it's even more helpful to see what others have done to overcome the similar challenges that we've been facing ourselves. I'm going to share a couple of my experiences here in this video. Number one is 14 years ago. I can't believe it was 14 years ago. I was in the middle of losing 50 pounds of fat, promising myself that I'd give myself a six-pack ab for my 36th birthday, celebrated with a beautiful photo shoot. But leading up to that 8-month journey, it was a challenge. I faced a lot of difficulties, and my biggest one was taking an all or nothing approach. I would be like perfect on my diet for a few days. And then as I was going through the cupboards to prepare a meal or something, I'd come across some of my kids' treats that they bring in their lunches. I'd be tempted with them, and sure enough, I'd be like, you know what, you've been really good for a few days. You can have a cookie or two, and be like, that's awesome. You know, I think one more won't hurt. Have one more, and you're like, damn it, like why did I have that? I didn't need that extra cookie. Feeling like I kind of blew my diet, feeling guilty about it, beating myself up, thinking to myself, you know what, I'm just going to start again tomorrow and might as well just eat this whole box of cookies. Then I'd eat the tub of ice cream, a box of cereal, have some chips, and I'd feel full of bloated and disgusting because I knew I was going to start again tomorrow. So I might as well just go hog wild at this point, and then try this process all over again. And I'd find myself in that cycle, being really good for a few days and then falling off the wagon for a day. Really good for a few days and falling off a wagon. I couldn't be consistent because I was taking that all or nothing approach. What helped me overcome that approach was adopting a flexible dieting mindset that you can incorporate cookies, ice cream, chips, all of your favorite treats into your fat loss diet plan. Doing so responsibly, allowing yourself to hit that calorie target for the day or for the week. And rather than trying to avoid all of those treats, avoid all of those processed foods and stuff that I enjoyed for a few days, and then have like a cheat day kind of thing where I would incorporate those foods, it wasn't working for me. So the flexible dieting approach worked for me, where I could have a cookie or 3 cookies every single day and still hit my calorie target for the day. So that was big. And also, I think I'd say the biggest thing was just shifting my mindset, being aware of the conversations that were going on my mind. So if I started to tell myself, you deserve this, I'm like, yeah, you can have cookies every day. You deserve them every single day. They can fit into your target. Or if I start to feel a little bit guilty or beating myself up and telling myself, you can start again tomorrow, I'm like, no, you've done that many times before. And this cycle just keeps you trapped. You're not going to start your diet again tomorrow. You can stop right now. You don't need to pig out and be gluttonous here and start again tomorrow. So being aware of the conversations in my mind and stopping myself, being prepared with a counter argument to keep me on track throughout that journey. So that was key to help me lose that 50 pounds of fat. Then I went through some bulking and cutting phases for 5 years where I gained like 20 to 30 pounds and then have to go through a fat loss phase to shed any of the excess fat that I gained during those muscle building phases. And what I found during those times is that every Friday night I'd be out with the guys. I'd be faced with temptations, alcohol, chips, pepperettes. There'd be a huge spread of food out all the time. And I found that every time I tried to resist it, tell myself I can be good. I can avoid these foods, these temptations, even though they're all around me. I couldn't. I caved every single time. And as soon as I'd start to cave, I'm like feeling like I'm weak. I can't do this, and then I just pig out like crazy rather than just having a little bit at a time. So what I found was, in this instance, rather than trying to avoid, like trying to behave myself in those occasions, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to treat this as my cheat day, and knowing that I'm probably going to eat in excess, like go above my calorie target for the day. So I would plan for that. And it just meant that the rest of the week, the other 6 days, I had to significantly reduce my calories in order to make up for it. So rather than trying to hit a calorie target for the day, which is typically for me 2,000 calories a day when I'm in fat loss mode, that's what I aim for. That's what's going to allow me to lose close to 1.5 pounds per week. But knowing that I couldn't hit that every single day because that one day was going to be a higher calorie day, I had to drop my calories for 6 days to around 1,600 calories in order to make up for that higher calorie day on Friday. It worked for me. I achieved my goal. It wasn't what I found. It wasn't ideal for me because I felt like crap that night eating in excess. I'd come home, I'd had acid reflux, I'd be tossing and turning, so I didn't get a great night's sleep. I'd wake up feeling full and bloated, my digestive system would be out of whack, I'd be exhausted because I didn't sleep, so my performance in the gym that day would suck. I just would be dragging my butt all day long. I'm like, this isn't serving me well, although it's helping me hit my calorie target for the day, for the week. It just, I don't like eating in excess. So I've since then learned to eat more responsibly, and I no longer have days where I eat in excess. I eat to the point of satisfaction up to this point. So it's been a learning curve to get to this point, a lot of lessons learned throughout the journey in order to be at this stage where I am a lot more responsible. I mean, there's still times where I'll eat a little bit more than I had planned, but I haven't felt full and bloated in almost 8 years. 8 years now it's been since I felt that way. So it feels so good. I never want to feel like that ever again. So I have that heightened sense of awareness. And whenever I start to catch myself where I'm eating a bit beyond that point of satisfaction, I remind myself it's not worth it. Not only am I not going to gain any more joy from eating more of this food, I'm really not going to taste it as much as it's not going to taste as good as it did when I first had that first little bit eating to that point of satisfaction, but I'm going to pay the price. I'm not going to gain any more joy from eating more, and I'm only going to experience more pain because I'm going to go to bed feeling like crap. I'm going to have acid reflux from having too much food in my system and lying down in bed. I'm going to be tossing and turning, so I'm going to have a crappy sleep. I'm going to feel full and bloated the next day. My digestive system is going to be out of whack the next day. I'm going to feel sluggish. It's just going to have nothing but negative impact on me. So why do I want to eat anymore? And again, that's a heightened sense of awareness to the conversations going on in my mind and how my body is feeling in those moments. So now I can handle those temptations a whole lot better. And that's the key. The reason I in the past was having that cheat day was because I couldn't control myself in those situations. And again, I was taking that all or nothing approach. It was like, well, if I'm going to indulge in some drinks and the food that's here, I might as well pig out here and go nuts. No, you don't have to do that. So heightened sense of awareness and really learning to listen to my body and do what's going to serve my body best and what's truly going to bring the greatest joy to that overall experience. So the difficulties that I faced initially was that all or nothing approach, being really good for a few days and falling off the wagon. Really good for a few days, falling off a wagon. Being aware of those conversations in my mind at the time that was causing me to overeat and fall off the wagon was, well, I blew my diet, feeling guilty, beating myself up and telling myself I was going to start again tomorrow, stopping that in its tracks. As soon as I became aware of those conversations, stop it, put an end to it. Then even if I exceeded my calorie target a little bit that day, it's so much easier to make up for that throughout the week if you stop it at that point rather than pigging out and then having to be even more disciplined for the following few days because of that, falling off the wagon again. So that was my first initial difficulties, and then overcoming that difficulty of being faced with the temptations, learning to adapt. I was working with what I knew at the time. It served me well at the time, but then learning that there's a better way to not have that big cheat day, that big refeed day. Again, it was very popular at the time as well. People were really bragging about the benefits of having that big cheat day, having that big refeed day. When I really sat with it, I'm like, there's no good that's coming from this experience. If anything, it was almost like an eating disorder, where almost like a binge and purge without the actual purging there. There's the binge, but then you're severely restricting yourself the rest of the week to make up for that, which is kind of a form of punishment there. So I'm like, I'd rather try to keep things as consistent as possible. But again, it all really comes from experience. And that's why it's so important for us to share our experiences with each other, the challenges that we faced and how we dealt with them, how we overcame those challenges. We're learning and growing together. So please take a moment to share your experiences down in the comment section below. I really look forward to you. Non-judgmental. We're all finding our way, and that is what is key. Thank you so much.